Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. Alright, it's the second day of my short weekend, and while there's one section of the planter that's still really moist and muddy from the rainstorm we had last weekend, the other side is actually, I think, probably okay to begin working on. And so I want to start working on one section of the planter and kind of getting it ready because I want to raise the soil level. I think I want to put some new stones in it, and well, let's just go take a look at it. Well, hello. Aren't you tame? No, not that tame. So this is the section I kind of want to work on, and I think what I want to do first is I want to replace all these stones that border the thing. I want to raise them up a lot, but the problem is that these stones don't stay. The problem is these stones don't stay stacked very well. Because there's not a lip on the back of them, so you know, if you touch them or anything like that, they slide off, and as you can see on some of them, they're actually kind of tipping out a little bit towards the yard. So yeah, here's a good example of the problem here. And so what I want to do, I think, is I want to replace them with the stones like I used over here in this planter. The beauty of these stones is that they have a little lip on the back of them. So as you can see, the upper level stones are about an inch back from the lower level stones, and that's because there's that lip in the back there that kind of keeps everything in place. And I think if I use those over here, I'll be able to not only raise up the level of this maybe, you know, 4 or 6 inches, but I think everything will kind of hold together, and hopefully it won't be falling apart like this. Now I've kind of measured the circumference of this, and we're looking at about 32 feet around here. So I'm going to need probably, for most of this, 2 levels to do this, to bring it up to the level of the concrete over here. So that means I'm going to need to go get 64 of these paving stones here, or wall retention stones, whatever you want to call them, and bring those home. So I think that's going to be the first part of the job. But I also got to deal with the fact that it's supposed to be like 90 degrees today. So as you can see, I've already got the swamp cooler out here, and we're getting ready to warm that thing up, and that'll hopefully help a little bit. But we're going to take this, I think, really slowly. But like I said, I want to raise the dirt level in here, build up the retaining wall around the edge so we can do that. And then basically I'm going to just replace everything in here. Yeah, this thing's sort of still a little bit alive, but just basically everything else in here died. So I think I'm just going to rip everything out of here except for this tree. Tree's still doing good, and I like the tree, and I like the coverage that it provides here. But I think everything else is going to come out. We're going to raise up the dirt level 6 or 8 inches in here, and we're going to plant some new stuff in here. Like I said, that'll probably take a few days, and we'll get a couple vlogs out of it, but that begins today. Let's go to Home Depot. All right, hooray for Home Depot. I only needed was 100 of these, and there's 144 on a pallet, and they just said, you know what, we got so many of these, we're just going to give you a whole pallet. So I got 44 free stones from this. So I don't know exactly what I'll do with them, but I'll find something. Now the downside of getting 144 bricks for the price of 100 is that means you have to move 144 bricks. So hour and a half has passed now. I am exhausted. This is half of the bricks. I moved the other half over to that end of the yard because I don't anticipate I'm going to need all 144 of them here. I'm figuring this 72 that I have here should probably be enough to do this port. So it didn't make a whole lot of sense to drag all 144 of them across the yard over to here. I dumped the other 44 or the other 72 over here. So I'm going to take a little time and rest a bit here, and I actually think I'm going to hop in the pool a little bit because, you know, no matter how cold it is right now, I'm sweating like a pig, so it'll probably feel good for a few minutes. So let's see I want to actually see what the water temperature is right now. It was 76 this morning, but it's been a warm day, and it's been a breezy day, so oh yeah, water's up to 79 right now. So yeah, definitely gonna hop in the pool for a little while. First pool dip of the season, and we're gonna cool off for a little bit, and then maybe we'll continue for a bit. Now this is one of the things I really love about living in Texas. When I got up this morning and looked at the weather, all I could see on the forecast was that it was going to be really hot. They were predicting 89, 90 degrees, really humid, and virtually no chance of rain. Well, about an hour ago, I was taking a little nap because I was exhausted after moving all those stones, and I got woken up by the sound of my weather radio going off. Apparently, my county, McLennan County, and about 5 other counties in the area are under a tornado warning until 11 o'clock. And I was looking at the radar, and there's a big, nasty storm system blowing through that's going to be hitting us probably in the next hour or so. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, just that kind of stuff never happens in California, where it can be a perfectly clear day and all of a sudden everything changes. But this is going to be an exciting few hours. Stay tuned. By the way, I did go for a little bit of a swim. It felt good to get into the water. It was still a little on the cold side. I'd like to bring it up a few more degrees, but I stayed in there, and it definitely was felt good to get in there and kind of cool off a little bit after moving 3 tons of retaining wall brick. Okay, it's actually the next day. It turns out moving 3,000 pounds of stones really kind of wore me out. Now, I did actually do a little bit on the planter last night, but I only got a couple stones into place. And like I said, now it's the next day. I had a couple errands I wanted to run. Had to go to the grocery store. I wanted to go get a haircut, so I got that done. And I also kind of want to run the mower over the front yard because it's getting a little bit overgrown. We're getting into that season now where the grass is really starting to grow fast. I noticed that last year about this time that it starts really growing fast, and if you don't do it like every week or every other week, you know, it really turns into a mess. So I was out there and I mowed it a couple weeks ago, and I already got to do it again. So I want to do a little of that, but let me show you what I did last night. Like I said, I got a few stones in place, and ultimately I want to do this all the way around, but I am going to catch up with this and do a little bit more later on. But like I said, I want to get the lawn mowed first, so that's the priority, and then we'll come out here and start working on this again. So I got the lawn mowed and got everything put away there. Yard's looking good in the front yard again, and made a little progress now on this. And I'm actually kind of glad that I decided to kind of not do a lot of this yesterday, because today, like I said, we were supposed to have a little bit of rain that came through last night. Never did actually materialize to anything. Got tornado warnings all night, and but it seems like most of the storm moved north of us. So didn't really get a whole lot of rain, if any. I think the ground was a little bit wet when I got up this morning. But as a result of that, it's probably about 15 degrees cooler today. And between that and the swamp cooler, it's actually kind of a nice day to be out in the yard. So we're making good progress on this. I'm going to keep working on it. And I don't know if we'll get all the way around here today, but you know, I've made in probably an hour's time, I've gotten 10 stones laid. So it's going pretty fast. The soil's kind of soft, so it's kind of easy to dig it up. You know, when you get a little rain, the soil gets a little muddy, and so it makes it a little bit easier to dig up and a little bit easier also to compact down and get everything nice and level. So I'm going to keep working on that, and I'll catch up with you in a little bit. Okay, a few hours have passed. It's a little after 4 p.m. now, and I've got about half of this thing done now. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to stop this for now. I got to go back to work tomorrow, and this is my long week coming up. So I'll be ready to do a little bit more of this come next weekend, and hopefully we'll finish up the project, and then we can start putting some dirt in here, raising the level up, and start putting some plants in here. Now, like I said, just about everything in here is coming out. That's coming out because, yeah, it is a little bit alive. That's never going to come back to its former glory. This thing's for the most part dead. There's a couple of live spots in there, but I think a lot of that is weeds. But I do think I want to try and save that thing. That thing is one of the things that did kind of bounce back, and I think what I'm going to have to do, since the level of the soil is going to go up about 6 inches in here, I'm going to probably dig that thing out and then replant it. I'm hoping the root structure isn't very big, and that if I do pull it out, that I don't end up killing it in the process. But I want to try and save that thing. But other than that, everything else is coming out of here. I think I'm just going to probably bury the weeds like that. That won't be a problem. But you're beginning to get an idea now what this thing's going to look like. Just imagine like 6 inches more of soil in there. I'm also going to probably have to raise that sprinkler head right there, because that is going to be way underground if I don't. It's funny because that one over there is just about the right height, so I won't have to do anything with that one, but for some reason that one's way a lot lower, so I'll have to raise the level of that head a little bit, and you know, that's something we can do if we have to, and we'll cross that bridge probably next weekend. But anyway, I think that is all that I have for today. Thank you as always for watching, and I will see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night.